Right, yeah. So this is We Are Football90, and we are joined today by
Josh.
And George.
I'm Aaron, and this is,
And I'm Tommy.
and we're here to discuss what's in football today. So obviously the biggest thing right now is obviously coronavirus in football and the effects that it has on. I think we're mainly going to be talking about Premier League and what it has on
Football in general,
football
really.
in general.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
Especially the Champions League.
Yeah.
I mean,
And we will finish with Euro 2020. God knows what's going to be happening.
Probably next year, but we'll talk about that later. Yeah.
so yeah, kick off. I think, to be fair, the biggest thing has been the Arteta getting coronavirus.
Yeah,
I mean,
that was the biggest thing, wasn't it? You know, that made everyone be like, okay, hold up.
yeah.
You know, it's pretty funny all over Twitter. Arsenal fans like, yeah, it's all good, and then Arteta, he got the illness. They're like, hold up, nah, cancel everything. You know.
I think that's where Wayne Rooney's he's come out and publicly said
Yeah.
it's just not good for football. We've had to wait for such a high profile player or manager to come out and say that he's got coronavirus to then stop everything.
That was my biggest issue. They come out Thursday and said Premier League games are going to go on this weekend.
Yeah.
And then literally within 2 hours of them telling everyone, Arteta got it and then had to have a meeting straight away.
Yeah.
And obviously they could not carry on, especially as Hudson-Odoi got it the next morning.
Exactly.
There's no way he could carry
So,
on. with
I mean,
fixtures.
Benjamin Mendy's being tested. He's been kept in isolation. You got so many players. That
3
have been
Leicester
affected.
players.
Three Leicester, Everton player, Regani, the whole Juventus squad has had to be kept on lockdown.
Yeah.
It's not in the Forest owner that's been and the Wolves owner. It's ridiculous the amount of people that we're getting it, but it's not these people that we really need to be worrying about. It is the people that they can pass it on to. But at the end of the day, we need to be focusing on the biggest issue is what do we do with the Premier League? What do you do with the league table? I mean, do you cancel it? Do you make it null and void?
There's been so many different theories,
Yeah,
but
definitely.
I'd love to hear your two. If you give us one each and we'll discuss them.
Well, there's a couple of things, you know.
on,
One
Ted.
on a Spurs point of view, you know, as a Spurs fan, just want this season to be over. But of course, to have that null and void decision, that's going to impact a lot of teams. And I mean, there's 9 games, 27 points. I mean, Liverpool should win it. There's 2 games, but you know they've slipped up before. You know, it'll be the biggest slip up since Gerrard. But you know, there's a lot of fighting going on with the relegation battle. So there's so much that goes on. It'll be unfair on them to make it null and void, really.
Yeah. If you do null and void it though, what would you do?
What would I do?
Yeah. So what's the best step you'd think?
Because it is most likely going to be Liverpool to win the title, I would award the Premier League to Liverpool. They deserve it. They've, over the course of the season, been excellent. You know, it's only up until recently they've had a bit of poor form, but I think that's just due to complacency a little bit and maybe a bit of tiredness, but they've been excellent. So, to be fair, they should really get that. With the relegation, it's a bit more difficult. You know, I think the best thing would be to make it null and void, but to have 22 teams, you know, 2 teams come up from the Championship. But then you've got to look at League 1, League 2, and they're so close with the leagues. So any decision you make is going to
It's going to
not-
have a big impact
yeah,
on
it is.
everything.
Not everyone's gonna be happy, are they?
Effect.
exactly.
It's going to affect not only the Championship, not only League 1, League 2. You got, because what was I saying? National League is 4 points between second and top.
Yeah.
League 2 is close. League 1 is close.
Yeah.
There's only 7 points between Fulham and Leeds.
Yeah.
You can't then go right top two, because there's in League 1 there's like 3 points separating to like second to the top.
There has been talks of like a playoff almost, like once the season can continue, like later on, just where it concerns the Champions League getting relegated or getting promoted, have like a playoff period basically. And I think that's a pretty good idea, to be honest.
Yeah.
Having a playoff period where people are like, those teams are concerned after this virus has, you know, gone away.
See, I still think even then, what teams do you choose to do that? Because 9 games, 27 points, any team within that range will argue that they should be part of that.
No, that's a fair point. I don't know really. I mean, I think you've got an interesting fact about the laws of the Premier League about 75% of
28 games is 75% of the season. And if by the FA rules, 75% of the season is done, then it's season the league remains as it is. So Liverpool win the league. Top four get Champions League, obviously the City thing, so it will be fifth. And then obviously you've got the bottom three getting relegated, but Aston Villa have got 28 games.
Yeah.
28 games.
There's one
got a
issue
game
with
in
that
hand.
though as well is Champions League's UEFA. UEFA have different guidelines to the Premier League.
Yeah.
So by their rules, if not every season's not finished, it's the top 32 ranked teams get the Champions League next season.
Yeah.
So the team like Sheffield United, if they finish fifth or third or whatever, they're not winning next season.
No.
It'll be Wolves. We were saying, well, Wolves will get
are in
it.
the top 32, so they'd get Champions League football.
Mad.
So it leaves a lot of holes in that theory. But I think the favourite thing at the moment for FA is to stop the season and have a 22 team season next season and take up the top two. Although, as we were saying, it's going to leave a lot of...
Well, League One, you've got like the top 10 positions all within 3 points of each other.
Yeah.
How can you choose that when like one game could mean the difference of promotion or not getting promoted?
The only thing they can argue is we either don't finish it or we think about the health and next season and we just take up the top two. Because health is the most important thing. It doesn't matter whether you're in League One, League Two, Premier League, what star you are, the health is bigger than everyone.
You're in a Jurgen Klopp's coming out there, isn't it? Saying exactly what Jurgen Klopp said in his interview, word for word.
Religiously.
I haven't actually seen that.
Oh dear. Another thing about Jurgen Klopp, he's very serious about this virus, isn't he? Came out, didn't even touch anyone of the fans coming out.
Got a bit angry, didn't they?
Yeah,
Little
he's
bit.
swearing at him.
Oh dear. I mean, stay clear, but don't get Larry. The fans at the end of the day.
Touching their hands, but then he's allowing his players to go out there and play full contact sport.
Yeah.
There's no difference really.
That's another reason why I think they just...
Even behind closed doors, it's still not good because they'll still carry it. There's staff there, stewards are, they're old guys that are stewards, and the kit guy, there's a manager who's in the lower leagues, and he said, look, all of my guys, they're like older guys, and they are easily contracted to it, so it's a big thing. Like even to play the rest of the season behind closed doors, even I don't think that even that's an option really because of. It's 27 days in the body.
They have to get 14 teams to agree, though.
They do.
That's what they're saying.
Exactly.
Premier League is 14 teams.
Yeah.
And at the moment, I don't think the most they've had is 4 teams agree on one thing.
Yeah.
I don't think any proposal that's been put forward is going to be agreed by.
No, it's not.
The majority of teams.
You've got
No
Spurs
way.
and West Ham working together. They're by themselves. First time they work together for anything.
Well, West Ham are looking like they're getting relegated, and this season for Tottenham has just been
dreadful.
Been a shit show.
Although I wouldn't
really,
put past us. We're going to have every player back from injury.
I know. This is what we wanted.
First time all season.
But Wolves had their proposal to suspend their second leg against Olympiacos refused.
Yeah.
In the
Is
end.
that
And
in Wolves or?
the owner was it of Olympiacos had contracted coronavirus, and so that's why they did. No, he's still gonna play it. I'm like, yeah, great. It just does not make sense at all.
No, there's no way that you can carry on with the season. I think the best way, as a Liverpool fan, I don't want to say it, but the best way is to cancel the league.
Yeah.
And have nothing happen
I
and carry on from next
cannot
season.
see it going carrying on.
I
after
see
the
that's
4th
the
of April.
fairest way, to be honest. I know it sucks, but Liverpool should win it anyway next season if they carry on their form.
The best thing about this is that even though Liverpool are going to get given the league, years to come, everyone's going to be like, oh, you didn't really win the league.
Yeah.
It doesn't count, really.
It doesn't count, that's it. You're only 2 games away. It's
The
fine.
funniest part is Liverpool come second with 96 points last season.
Nice.
This season they're 20 points clear, 21.
Yeah.
And you're still not going to win the league.
Listen,
You gotta love it.
I've got a whole rant for Liverpool, but we'll save that for another day. But the only fair way is to make the season null and void. But the FA will look where they're going to get their money from.
Yeah.
because the only way that they benefit is the season continuing, and that is what they're looking to do. That's why they suspended it. It's not been called off. They're not looking to call it off. They haven't even said they're looking to call it off.
Yeah.
It's how can we resume this season.
Do you think it will resume in April?
I don't think it will resume in April.
That's what they're looking for the earliest time. But
I think
don't
it'll be
see
about
that
May.
happening.
I think it'll be about May time. Will be played behind closed doors. Although we've already discussed that it's not going to be beneficial, because if one player has it and they don't know and they pass it on to someone else, they go home to their families and pass on to the families, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
The FA don't care.
Mhm.
They're taking precautions by playing behind closed doors. That's their precautionary thing.
Yeah.
So they're still going to get their money from that. They still have to get paid from the football clubs and from the owners and whatever. So they'll still get paid. The FA will still make their money. Lower league clubs,
that's the
end
biggest
Premier
thing.
League clubs will lose out on a lot of money,
Yeah.
and it's going to take a few years for them to build their money up, and transfer windows are not going to reach $1 billion for another few years.
You know, is it?
It's not fair. It's
I
not fair.
think-
But the FA,
You know, you'll see clubs actually collapse and go bankrupt from it. And so won't actually be able to play.
Yeah, lower league clubs, they rely on gate receipts, whereas
They do.
Prem clubs, they've got their broadcasting money. So
And if you look at the lower league clubs, how many of the lower league clubs, their main first team are loan players?
Yeah.
yeah,
Their loans finish in June.
Yeah.
So how are you going to do that?
Exactly.
And the transfer window is going to be open while you're finishing your season.
Yeah.
And then also when do you restart? Because then you're pushing back the next season.
Yeah.
And then the next season. And then you're supposed to have the Euros. Then the World Cup 2022 is in winter. So it's just, they got to fit around it. I don't think you can go into the summer. And if you do, you can only use June where the Euros was going to be.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah.
You can't go into July.
No, you
because then
can't.
Where do you-
pre-season
that's
gets
pre-season,
pushed back.
isn't it?
Yeah.
what do you do with Champions League?
The
Because-
proposal they're doing is one legs.
Oh really?
First leg.
That's-
only.
that's-
but then it
but
has
then
to be
it's
played
not-
neutral.
Yeah,
Has to
exactly.
be.
That's the problem you have. It's just a draw for home and away, but then that's not the Champions League or the Europa League that
No.
we've gone with.
I mean,
Left or right, doesn't
what
matter.
I was thinking is, if they can get these games done behind closed doors, finish this season as quick as possible, quick fire games, get the Champions League
Well, like
done.
half hour, yeah. Like half time.
No, you have 2 or 3 games a week, each club on the same day. Like, yes, it's congested,
Yeah.
but the season needs to be finished. The season needs to be done, so then we can think about the future, and then you can play the Champions League in the summer.
I mean, Klopp complains enough about not having a winter break. I don't think having 3 games a week would be beneficial for him.
No.
People have got to sacrifice, because this
But then
is
think
a
of the amount
massive
of players
epidemic.
that will be self-isolating anyway.
Mm.
Team's just not going to be able to have enough players, and even if
No.
they do, it's just
Well, the whole Premier League can just self-isolate. So the whole club, the whole team just self-isolates.
But then we
Um,
stop the season as it is.
Yeah. And then they can play each other because they're not getting into contact with anyone else apart from each other, who are all self-isolating. And then if we do try and get that season over with that way,
well,
then
if
that
they
might
want to
be a
end the season
solution.
now, why don't we do what the Bundesliga do? So 20th will play first
yeah,
in the Championship,
yeah,
second plays 19th, and then you even leave out the playoffs, because realistically the playoffs is a gamble anyway. So the teams that finish in the playoff are lucky to get promoted, because it's a second chance really.
yeah.
Because the top 2 are the best 2 teams in the division. So if you're 3rd, 4th, 5th or 6th, stay another season anyway.
Yeah.
You can do that for every league.
Do you know what? I don't think many teams would complain in the lower leagues because it is so close. I think that you should just leave the leagues as they are in the lower leagues. Maybe promote the other, because it is a big impact obviously to get into the Premier League. Maybe do that for Leeds and West
Yeah,
Brom.
just
isn't
do
it?
you do the top 2, apart from obviously I think
Yeah.
in the National League you just do 1,
Yeah.
because it's only 2
Yeah.
promoted anyway.
Yeah.
And then no one can really complain, because
No.
if you come second you're not the best team anyway. So you can't complain, oh, I was the best team over the year, I deserve to get promoted, because
Exactly.
you weren't.
No.
But then what do you do with teams like, obviously, Southend and Bolton in big financial problems? They're definitely going down.
Yeah, but
And then the teams in
Then it's
League
a
2,
lifeline, isn't it?
the league teams in League 2 would argue that they're in a better situation, therefore they should go up.
But then that's why you don't have to relegate teams. It's just every season you push one back. So if the Premier has 22 teams next season, let's just say, then it's just 4 go down next year, and then 4 go down the year after, and then you're back to 3 teams. That's all it is for 2 seasons, it's just 4. But then no one can complain, because there's an extra 2 spaces that stay up, realistically. Because if you finish 18th this season, you go down.
Yeah.
If you finish 18th,
Yeah.
when there's 4 teams, you stay up, so you can't from playing really.
No.
You're getting an extra chance to stay in the division,
Yeah, exactly.
and plus you get more games. That's more money.
Yeah.
So
But the only thing is what we were saying earlier is people playing Champions League, Europa League, and different competitions. 2 extra games. Yes, it's only 4 extra games. They're already moaning playing 60, 70 games a season.
Yeah.
And
They're not going to like play an extra 4 games. I know it's just an extra 4 games, but it's where you fit that in the schedule already, especially people playing Champions League.
You can just- we finish mid-May and we start mid-August. Just 1 week early either side, and then you
Yeah.
fit in 1 extra, or you just don't have a winter break this time. It's
The
just
things like the winter breaks only happened this season.
There's
You know,
nothing you
yeah,
do.
scrap that.
I don't think you could do that though, because obviously players in the summer, if elite players will be playing for the national team, and they literally have no spare time, no holiday or anything, and they'd be complaining about that, even with just 2 extra weeks.
It's just finding the right balance.
Yeah.
It's
It-
fitness as
you've-
well. Like,
Yeah, you've got to find the right thing for everyone. You've got to find because the FA are going to do what's best for the FA. Let's be real. They're not going to do that team needs money, so we're going to do what helps the lower end. No, it's what suits the FA.
Yeah.
That's what's always been. It's FA first. So it's got. But what you've got to look at is how it's going to suit all parties. Yes, the FA are going to need their money, but lower Premier League clubs need their money to survive as well, and lower that Championship. You got really small teams at the other end of the Championship who thrive off of the couple of games they get on TV a year,
yeah.
and
So-
and their sponsorship money and things like that. So, but if they don't, and their gate receipts, the biggest thing of all, if they don't get their gate receipts, what happens to them? You make this season null and void while playing the season. They miss out on millions and millions and millions of pounds.
I know. But
It's ridiculous.
the only solution, because Premier League teams have done this before in the past to help out clubs which are like actually really struggling financially, where they give them a portion over, because they do have surplus. Clubs in the Premier League, they do have surplus. It doesn't matter what anyone says. They've got owners as well, and if they do feel that this is going to impact them massively, like that is, then they can give over a surplus, and that will then help them just to keel over a bit. Give the
But
players their wages. Just keep the club running.
They don't have to. There's going to be
No,
selfish
no.
people out there. They don't have to give that money.
Yeah, but to be, the whole association of football being, what's the word? Sportsman, and all the world is watching them as well. They're more likely gonna want to be like, yeah, okay, let's do it. It's more of the peer pressure rather than them being selfish, because they are selfish. But if everyone's doing it and a few other clubs are doing it, they'll be like, oh, if I don't do it, I'm gonna look horrible.
Yeah, I feel like they definitely should, because I think it was either last season or the season before, each Premier League club put in a couple mil for the Premier League chief executive who just retired,
Yeah, they
and
wouldn't
he
give
got
any
about
money.
15 million just from Premier League clubs alone. If they do that to help the lower league clubs, I really
That would
don't see a
help
problem
out a
with it. I don't think they would either.
I agree with what you're saying, but then no one stepped in to help Bury, did they? And
Yeah,
every
true,
club had
true.
a chance. So they gave money to the Premier League chief executive,
Yeah.
but they won't help save.
But this
One of
is
them.
on a massive scale, isn't it? And it's not their fault at all.
No,
It
it's
might
no
have
one's
been a
fault.
bit of
It's just-
Bury's fault, and it wasn't managed in the right way. But this is not their fault. It's not anything to do with managing. It's just the circumstances we're in at the moment. So they have
But-
to show some humanity in a way.
Or do they? It's their money. It's their
It's true,
it's their hard-earned money. If you see it, you walk past and someone you see a homeless person, do you
Yeah.
give it to every homeless person you
No.
go past? You don't.
But then also clubs have surplus money, but they have so much to pay for, and you've got to remember,
Yeah.
every
Exactly.
club, even the Premier League clubs, are losing games.
Yeah.
That's the amount
And
of
then-
TV money you get. That's how the Premier League,
Yeah,
and you've got
TV
9
money.
games, some teams 10,
The
that don't have
transfer
anything,
money
and
as
the
well.
Champions League. That-
So
Even if it is one leg,
Yeah.
that's that 4 games you miss out.
Exactly.
Mm.
You look at, take Man United for example. They have missed out this season on £80 million, something like that. They've got minus 80 million from last season. That 80 million would buy you a Paul Pogba.
Yeah.
And now they're missing out on these 9 games. It's the amount of money they're going to miss from that.
Yeah.
From the rest of the Europa League as well. From
Which they
the
have
FA Cup.
forecast as well. As well.
Exactly. sponsorship money that they get from games, gate receipts. They're missing out on billions these next 2 months, 3 months combined, and it is. They need that money to survive as well.
Yeah.
They've got bills to pay.
Yeah.
So can they afford? If they're missing out on money, can they afford to give money away? They can't really.
No.
Given 3 million, it's all right to say, yeah, we gave 3 million to the Premier League chief executive, but they didn't miss money.
Also, look at Arsenal. They're paying how much seasons? 16 million over 5 seasons for Pepe. So they're gonna have to pay that come June. That's their next payment, and the season's still not up.
Exactly. Yes, Arsenal can afford 16 million a season. There's no doubt about that. But you look at lower league clubs that are missing out on thousands, millions of pounds every week, every month. When they're not playing, they don't pay their transfer figures in full, and that's only a couple of thousand.
Lower league clubs as well. I think I saw Everton. They're still playing all their staff. They've got that money because day in day out they're still looking after the pitch or whatever. But lower league clubs, they don't have the money, so they don't have the money to pay all their staff and everything.
We can talk a bit closer to home here because look at Southend.
Yeah.
They're struggling to pay anyway, and that's when they were playing games. They've got no money to be making now. So how are they going to afford to pay?
I'm quite fearful, to be honest, because this really doesn't help.
But
would you follow Italy and you cut some payments that everyone has to make? But the only problem is in England at the moment, we're just trying to carry on as normal with a few safety measures of just self-isolating. But money-wise, everything's just staying the same.
Yeah.
You got to look at it next season. Next season, when the season restarts, whenever that will be, we don't know. But Southend are going to be in a worse off position than what Bolton were.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying earlier about maybe them going down. Because at the moment they're still playing the majority of the teams under 18s already. So by not having the gate receipts or all the money that's coming in from football, by staying in League One, is that going to help them whenever the next season starts, financially?
What do you do though? Because as I said, Bolton, Southend going to be in worse state than Bolton. Bolton got 12 points to go.
-12,
What happened to Southend? This isn't their fault. It's not their fault. They're missing out on all this money.
No.
So what do you deduct the 12 points, or because they're breaching financial fair play, or not financial fair play?
With Bolton, they were already in League One when they got the points deduction, whereas we're in the relegation zone. So I feel like we need to get relegated plus the deduction just to help us. Otherwise,
it depends how this season goes though. We might still be in League One next season if no one gets relegated.
Yeah.
So if we're still in League One and we're not matching the financial rules of League One, do they get the 12 points deduction, even though it's not their fault they've missed out on all this money?
But would you do to the season ticket holders as well?
Yeah.
People pay, going up the leagues, obviously lower down, they pay to support their local club.
Yeah.
They don't get to see quality football week in, week out, but they're there to support. But then the higher you go, the Championship, and then once you're in the Premier League, if you want to watch the top 6, you're looking at close to £1,000 for a season ticket.
Yeah.
You're missing out on 5 games. And if you're in the Champions League as well, you pay so you get your advance to get that ticket. You don't get to watch any of them. How are the clubs going to reimburse these teams when they haven't got the money yet from even that game happening? You're looking at paying millions to refund people, and how do you judge how much to refund someone? Because it's all done on Category A, Category B, Category C, whatever team they do. Teams got different games, and these fans are not going to be wanting to pay.
It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be the clubs that have to refund this though.
Who's got the money to refund
the FA.
it?
The FA should have to refund this because it's not the club's fault.
No. I do agree, but I feel like it is the club's responsibility.
Yeah, they get the money.
They've received the money from.
They're under contract from every single person who goes into the stadium, espally with the season.
You pay for a minimum amount.
It's a contract.
Fixtures, but then that money's gone right at the beginning of the season. They get it before the season even started, and that goes towards all spending.
That's it. So then they don't have that money to reimburse it back.
It's
one headache after another, isn't it? It's just like, for such a simple thing, because coronavirus, it's not even as bad as a common cold. The common cold kills more people per day than the coronavirus.
It's the flu.
At the end of the day, it's
the flu on steroids.
Yeah. It's just the fact that there's no actual cure.
No.
There's no actual cure for the flu though. Yeah, you got a
You
flu
get
jab,
flu jab.
but it's
There's
not.
no-
No, it doesn't
It's
eliminate
just-
it,
it's
does
not-
it? You
it's
get
not
it
cured.
back
You can
next
still-
year, don't you? So
You can still get it.
yeah.
It's just
And
the spread and the rate,
It's
and also
the
you're
fact that
putting people at risk.
we've built an immune almost to it,
Yeah.
and I think we have to all get it. I think we all have to get the coronavirus.
It's like the chicken pox when you're like 5 years old. Get it, you never get it again.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But if you get the coronavirus, you're going to build an immune system to it. You're going to know your body's going to know how to fight it. So I believe that we all have to get it.
But
We all might have already had it.
Going back to the chicken pox, obviously children have chicken pox parties. You can't do it with coronavirus because you don't know how it's going to affect you. Obviously, if you have an
Might be
underlying
different
condition that you
symptoms
don't know about,
Yeah,
there is a high
And it's
chance
not
it'll
fair.
be
Like
fatal.
the older people generation,
exactly.
like you
They
don't
just
want one
need
of
to
your
stay
older
at home.
relatives getting it.
Just cling film their house.
It's just
up.
it sounds easy saying right, let's all get it, and then we'll be better off next time. But you can't.
No,
It's
because
literally
we don't
not
know
possible.
actually if after 2 months we're still carrying it, and then we go and see our grandparents, and then it just spreads again, and you know, imagine that, and then you're responsible for a family member's death. You know, like
I did read online that it stays in your body for 27 days, I think.
yeah.
If you,
But that's just current tests.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it might even be that in some cases a stronger build up of the symptoms. You know, it could mean that you can carry it for 2 months.
And it's everywhere. There's no sport going on.
No.
Anything at the moment.
No, you know, nothing. I mean, rugby, Premier League set to postpone now. I mean, I thought they'll actually do that before football, to be honest, because of the
Cricket,
amount of contact
Cricket,
rugby has.
Formula One.
Yeah. I was glad about Formula 1. Glad,
Formula
but
One's
glad.
just racing as
Yeah.
well. They're alone in their car.
McLaren had to pull out.
No, it's all of the mechanics, you know, as
Yeah.
well. It's the whole teams, you know, they're all there together, you know,
Yeah,
with their
that's true.
computers,
I'm a massive
headsets.
racing fan, so
You know.
I'm not too sure.
I'm pretty into all that.
Right. We've
But
been on this, but I'll put one question to both of you.
Right.
So I want two answers.
okay.
So, what the first one, in the eyes of the FA, what
Yeah.
are you doing? And then also, in the eyes of UEFA, how are you going about things?
You first.
I honestly don't know. I've been thinking about this since
Since the start.
the
Yeah.
start of coronavirus. Like I knew it was something was going to have to happen, but I really don't agree with anything that's been put forward,
No.
because when there's cons to pros to one thing, there's cons to it as well. But I don't know, in terms of Premier League and like EFL, I would say stop the season, but just keep crown Liverpool champions. But don't let anyone get relegated. Don't let anyone get promoted. And just keep it how it is. For the main fact that you really don't know. Obviously, Leeds before. I know they're a lot further ahead now. They've been choked.
I get that Liverpool are 25 points clear. If you name Liverpool title, Premier League champions, West Brom are going to be like, hold on, we're top of Championship. Yeah, we're on top of Championship by a couple
But
of
it's
points,
the
but
top of the English league in general.
It's-
You know, it's
they
the
have-
top of the top, isn't it?
They've proven they are elite and
Yeah.
way ahead of everyone else. Obviously,
West Brom haven't done that. They haven't proved that they're elite
There's-
above everyone
e-
else in
either
the
way,
championship.
if you
People
go,
say the Championship's tougher than the Premier League. It's toughest league to ever get out of.
Yeah,
yeah.
I do
I mean,
agree
But
with
that's
that as well.
Sunderland
also
dropped
a reason
twice.
why
Wolves
that
dropped twice.
they lose more points.
And the biggest issue with that is the Championship. You've seen teams literally come third, narrowly miss out on promotion. Then they just about miss out on the playoffs. And then they can never recover after that season because it's so hard to get back there.
Yeah.
you look at Leeds when they first got relegated, 15 years ago? They what were they fighting to get back, and then they got relegated to League One.
Yeah,
You can say they've looked at Leicester,
yeah.
Portsmouth, Sunderland.
Southend actually
Wigan,
as well. You know,
Bolton.
if you go a bit back, you know, went all the way up to the championship, and then all the way back down.
Freddie
You know?
Eastwood.
Oh, mate, don't. The glory days.
100% record against Man United.
100%. I was there.
No, but I feel like it's the easiest thing to do because they have played out there the majority of the season,
Yeah.
and therefore they have proven to a certain extent how good they are, and the league table does show that. Because after it's just under 30 games, that's a fair indicator of how good they are in all leagues.
What would you do if you was UEFA?
I honestly don't know. Obviously, I would cancel Euro 2020.
Yeah,
That has to be
Definitely.
yeah.
That's
That'll
the-
have to be at least next year.
You can't
100%.
you can't do it next year because of the Nations League
Just
and
don't
World
need-
Cup qualifiers.
don't need
If you
the
put it
Nations
there, they all get they can't happen.
Don't need the Nations League, I don't think.
Like World Cup qualifiers.
They do World Cup qualifiers as well. It's just
Euros
you
is
also
far more
get a
important than
second
those
chance with the
qualifiers. We can
Nations
just
League.
delay everything. Basically, everything will have to be just pushed a year. That wouldn't change anything at all, really. Apart from maybe people in Qatar might get a bit annoyed. Have to wait another year, but gives them more time, to be honest. Won't be such a shabby job. But yeah, like I think UEFA is a bit more of an easier question, to be honest, because there's not as many
But then when
tournaments
you
for
say
football, etc. You know,
it's also a big one because teams are flying from different
It's
countries to each
a
other.
lot higher risk.
all you
no
need
matter
to do
when
is just
you
delay it,
play.
basically, until it's, just don't have European competitions, basically, in general, because the risk there is too high. I know the money
Yeah.
side of things is going to be massive, but
There's no fight for sixth, fifth, fourth, third. The fight will be for first, but you can't have 20 teams.
No,
fighting
of
for
course
top.
not. No, I mean, I'm not saying that just for this season, it just as it will be if everything started again, everyone who is in the Champions League this season will be in the Champions League next season.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah.
Although another one put forward is the top 32
Ranked teams.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
in the
obviously the team at United have just played, LASK.
competition.
They've overtaken Salzburg in their league. If you just put them straight back into the Europa League, they're not going to be happy.
No, they're not.
But
So
then
that's why you just treat it all fairly. Everyone who is in the Champions League this season is next season, because I think that's the fairest way.
But then you've got a team like Tottenham. Yes, they're a top team, but they've had such a poor season.
Yeah.
not
They had
top
Champions
team.
League final last season, but they've had such a horrendous season. Where are they in the league?
8th. I think
They're
now.
eighth.
Yeah, 7th, 8th. Yeah.
Like Arsenal.
That's
can't-
not Europa League.
41
League.
points.
Arsenal.
Arsenal wouldn't be in the Europa League.
They're,
next
where are
year.
they? 11th.
Arsenal.
Yeah.
11th.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
It's
Only 1 point behind us, so.
Don't.
Yeah,
They're 2 places behind us, all right. Let's keep
But-
that.
they're nowhere in position. They're not near Europa League.
No, but if you
If you put
rewind it back to
points-wise.
the beginning of the season, it's going to restart. It doesn't matter about what the current form is. It's just a reset for everything. For everyone. How gay do you want to look? Everyone's like,
That's what I imagine they do in America. Have you seen the MLS chants?
Oh yeah.
They're awful.
Have you seen the? It was LAFC against Inter Miami. And David
Dave
Beckham
Beckham was on his own.
Yeah. He's like, what was it? You're looking lonely or
Yeah.
something. Come on, if
you
you're
can't
still,
beat England chance.
If you're going to steal chance from England, at least get it right.
Exactly.
And,
Yeah.
It's
Do you know
just
what I mean?
horrendous. But I think another talking point we've kind of got a look at is VAR.
Oh man. Okay, that's a big one.
Be it forever.
Yeah.
We could be here forever. I mean, I take it from, what was it, American football. They had VAR and it was dreadful at the beginning for them. And now 5 years, 6 years on, it's perfect, it's fine. And I think we still need to go through that same process,
My
basically.
biggest issue with it is look at all the European leagues.
Yeah,
They do it fine.
yeah.
Why is England so different?
When did they start? When did the VAR start for them? Was it
Not long
last
It was the
year
season
ago?
before
Yeah.
for a lot of teams.
My
But
biggest
then
issue
that had
is
problems because
I don't
in
think
the
it-
Bundesliga they had VAR the season before us.
Yeah.
They definitely didn't get it right because they all went in for half time and they all had to come back out because there was a penalty awarded after they'd all gone back in. So they got it wrong, but it's
the biggest
it's
issue
the
is that we don't
improvements.
go to the monitors. What is
Yeah,
the
that's
point
the biggest
of having
thing.
the
Yeah.
monitors?
And I think it's also the rules as well, not actually VAR, but just the rules.
It's the inconsistency.
Yeah, it is.
It's just
I don't think the refs have been
VAR's
trained
there
properly.
VAR's there to help the ref,
Yeah.
not to ref the game.
No.
In
100%.
England, for some reason, Stockley Park wants to literally run the game how they want to, and the ref just points to wherever they get told to point.
So I feel like
But
that's come from rugby because it works really well in rugby.
But then we should be able to hear what he's saying.
Yes.
The
100%.
TMO, which is rugby version of VAR, he's
it-
constantly in the end. You can hear him,
Yeah.
and he's saying, "Oh, that was a forward pass, or that was a bad tackle."
But then also in rugby they confer. He goes, "This is what I saw. What are you seeing on the
But
monitor?"
they have
Yeah.
the big screens.
Yeah.
That's it.
They
In
should
England,
implement one into
the
every
ref
Premier League club.
doesn't actually
It's all
ever
secret,
tell
is
him
it?
what he sees.
Yeah.
The ref sees what he sees in time. He might get a little bit wrong, but
Yeah.
he just changes his judgment if he sees it again. If you get someone watching it, that's just a completely different view. You can't have two different views. If
In
the
my-
ref just goes and sees it again,
Yeah.
he just changes his mind, or he's like, "No, that's what I saw. Carry on with my decision." Or, "Oh, okay, I thought he got the ball. He obviously didn't. Penalty.
If
It's
the
just so easy,
Yeah.
but for some reason they
I
get
don't
it
understand,
so
like,
wrong.
We can all see it, right, on the TV screens. Like, everyone who's anyone can look at literally a 3-4 second piece, and you can see that he's either been tripped or he's falling, or that the defender's got the ball.
How can these people get it so wrong then?
I know.
It's
Because they're governed by the rules, and I think that's where that needs to change, and it needs to be suspect.
It's this big issue of they don't want to overturn the referee unless it's a clear and obvious error.
Yeah, but that
But
clear and
which-
obvious thing
exactly.
is so
Yeah,
vague.
where is the clear and obvious? Why
Yeah,
don't? Why
there's-
doesn't it just be if it's an error?
Yeah, exactly.
But the biggest thing is the referees union. Referees don't want to change the decision of other referees. It's the same with linesmen. You see it all the time. They don't. If they see something, they don't give it because the referee hasn't given it. They don't overturn the referee's decision. And if the linesman gives something that the referee doesn't think is right, the referee will still give it
Yeah.
because he doesn't want to overrule his linesman. So it's if you have referees.
Although I have seen it happen this season.
Yeah,
you know, where
yes,
it's been
it's always going to
overturned.
happen a few times.
Yeah.
But the referees union is still the referees. Like, there's still going to be chance where you think that should be given. Why does that not be given? Oh,
Yeah.
it's because he doesn't want this referee to look like an idiot. But which is why I think that we should have set VAR, not referees. Don't take away the pitch referees.
No.
Have official trained VAR refs, and have them set for your club's games. So Liverpool will have their own VAR team. Tottenham will have their own VAR team.
But then that
And
might
then
be
you
They'd
biased.
look into
biased.
that and feel like it's
But
a bit
it's not.
biased.
It's not the club. It's the FA.
But then if you're watching that same team every week, then you can gain to.
I think they should have their own team, which I thought they had anyway. And they should literally be. I think this is what happens anyway. They're in their own box, which they go to any. They don't actually go to the stadium. It's just all there on the monitors, and then they can just converse with the ref. But I think the
So
ref
just-
needs to
it's
go
all
to the
about
monitor.
The ref just
If
needs
you-
to ref the game still.
If VAR has to look 15 different angles
Yeah,
to tell
exactly.
if Roberto Firmino's armpit hair is offside, then it is not
That's
offside.
the rule. That is the rule I want changing because
Yeah,
that's
you
stupid.
just-
How is an armpit deciding
But they
what is
can't-
the decision?
Also, they
But
can't
it's-
get it exactly right. Someone said,
Yeah.
so if someone's running, defender's running up,
yeah,
and a striker's running towards goal,
yeah,
they have the second they pause it, they can only ever get it within 0.5 meters.
yeah.
That's what the angle
Yeah.
is. So
Yeah.
why don't you just, if you're within that 0.5 meters, then you're onside.
Yeah, exactly.
I think the problem with
What
football
happens-
is so subjective.
Yeah.
To what, like, for a Liverpool fan, he'll look onside. To a United fan, he'll look offside.
It's these lines. They just keep chopping.
Even
and
when you're
changing these
neutral.
With
you
those,
can't-
with when I
just can't see
see like a rerun of a decision, like a replay, right? Even though I am a Spurs fan and I look at it, I always look at it with an unbiased opinion, like, because I know that looking back in the slow mo, you can see what's happening. I don't care if you're United fan or Liverpool fan, you can see what's happened. Yeah, you'd be like, oh yeah, that wasn't a foul, but in your head, you'd be like, yeah, that was a foul, or yes, it was a penalty, because when you see it back, and you think, oh, that's not a penalty, then you see the replay, you're like, oh crap,
This is why I don't get. They in Stockley Park, they literally watch as soon as an incident happens.
Yeah.
They watch it straight away.
Yeah.
If something looks a bit off, even if he's not 100% sure himself, or even if he knows it's a penalty,
Yeah.
all he has to do, he has the mic, just whisper in the ref, stop playing next time it goes out, have a look yourself.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's a
That's-
pen, or say
yeah,
I
that's what
think
happens in rugby.
that's what happens
Exactly.
in all the other leagues. But here, for some reason, you have to wait 3 minutes for Stockley Park to actually get the decision, and he tells the ref what to do.
One thing that I think will improve it is, and stop it from reffing the games, is you get 2 reviews a game. You get
a bit like cricket.
yeah.
Yeah.
You
Or
get
like
2
tennis, like,
Yeah,
The only
if-
problem if you do 2 reviews, if you class a review, everything's getting VAR'd anyway.
No,
Even
no,
if you
no.
do-
It doesn't get VAR'd unless you say, ref, I want that to be VAR'd. Have a look at that for me. He gets given a dive. No, he touched me. Have a look at it.
The only
But
issue
then-
you have
Stop.
with you're gonna have teams that play in the Premier League, and then they go to Champions League where they've got normal VAR, which works perfectly. You don't.
You change
Rarely
it
see an
across the board because
Yeah, but
VAR
it
is
works.
VAR.
It only-
everywhere
it
apart
does
from
apart
England.
It doesn't
England,
work
it really
here. It works
does.
everywhere else.
Apart
That's
from
why I
England.
feel it's not the actual VAR
But-
or anything like that. It's the refs
Even
and
the World
their
Cup.
decisions.
But
Well,
I
that's
just
fine.
feel even Champions League, it's just the longer the game goes on, it does start to ref the game because you're like, oh,
Even though
he's
one of
looking
the
at that
worst
little niggle.
decisions ever happened in the Champions League final, VAR still come in. It just gave it straight
Still
away.
the
It was
done.
worst
done.
decision
Done.
in
His
Champions
arm was
League
up here.
history.
It was done.
You don't put your arm
Nah,
up
nah,
here.
3 minutes, mate. It just ruined the game for everyone.
3
For
minutes.
neutral, like a minute. Sorry, like
27 seconds.
yeah, not even 3 minutes. He
I
knows.
still.
I was
flashbacks.
there.
Yeah.
I was there, and I was like, I was horrified. Like, it was ridiculous.
Oh,
Here we go. Put it away.
Champions League.
Nah, mate.
Champions
Nah.
League.
Put it away.
Oh, beautiful.
fine. That's been in the background the old times.
I know exactly. Got it back.
We'll just close the window. Something happened.
It's alright. I'm just a football fan at this point. You know, it's I just enjoy my football. I'm not even trying to think.
That's because Tottenham are doing so poorly.
Yes. Exactly, yeah. You know, it depresses me. You know.
It's like
We'll
Liverpool
be
bunch
back.
of frauds anyway. So.
Don't even get me started. 'Cause I agree with that. Listen, Liverpool are the biggest frauds in football right now because people are going, "Oh, they're such an amazing team." No, we fit the way Jurgen Klopp wants to play. We don't have outstanding players. We have Salah, who is a very good player. He's
No,
not
it's not.
world class.
No.
He can. He's a
Disagree.
very good dribbler
Can't
and he's
deny
really,
that
really
he
quick.
can dribble though. You can't.
He's a
deny that.
very good dribbler. He's
a very
quick.
good dribbler, but
And he can finish. Mane is very direct. He's very he's really, really quick feet. Firmino,
is off and on. You know, like.
But
he's not
no,
consistent at
Firmino-
all.
Firmino's not a striker.
Salah,
No.
and Mane are world class sometimes. Firmino is world class every single game.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
Wow, that's the
He's got
biggest.
one goal at
Wow.
home all season. as a
Yeah, no,
striker.
no. Listen,
For the team
listen,
that's going to win the league.
listen,
Yeah.
Supposedly.
listen to my point. Shut up. Listen to my point. Our midfield is so weak. We have Fabinho, who's just been since his injury, it's just not even great. He's been so nimble, so weak. Henderson is our midfield. He runs everywhere.
yeah, I agree.
He is the reason why we don't concede a load of goals from the right because Trent is so poor at right back. He bombs forward. Henderson has to fill in a right back. So he is the midfield. Wijnaldum's just box to box. Wijnaldum doesn't really do nothing. Wijnaldum's just the legs. Like he covers for Robertson basically. He does Henderson's job on the other side because Robertson's so poor in defence.
Yeah.
And then you've got Van Dijk who gets caught out on one-on-ones a lot. He's world class, don't get me wrong, probably the best centre back in the Premier League. He's so intelligent, so demanding, but he gets caught out a lot. Gomez gets caught out more often than Van Dijk. The only reason he doesn't show it a lot of the times is because he's pace. But for
Gets
me,
back.
but for Firmino, he has to drop into that midfield because we have no creativity. As I said, our right back is right wing. Salah and Mane go up front. Our left back is left wing. We've got Henderson at right back. We've got Wijnaldum at left back. And then we've got Fabinho, who just is nowhere. And then...
It's funny that
So-
you're
No
like
creativity.
complaining
I hope
and
Pep's
you're
listening
winning the Premier
I hope
League.
Pep's listening because then you're winning the league next season. Don't worry. We've got all the tips on how to beat Liverpool.
Like, I can't believe you're actually complaining.
Oh, no,
about
no.
this. Like,
I'm not
and you're
complaining.
gonna win the league.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, you know.
Listen, the way...
Yeah, our team is
Jurgen-
rubbish.
the-
Like, what's it saying to all the other teams? Yeah, they're just dreadful.
God knows what you'd be like if you were supporting us.
Oh, don't. Oh, mate. You would have a field day.
The reason Firmino hasn't scored a lot of goals this season is because he's had to give up his goals by being the creative midfielder up front.
I disagree. He still gets in the positions to score.
does.
He just doesn't. He
Yeah,
just does,
exactly
he can't
right.
finish.
What about
But-
the other day? He literally could have put it in open goal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he's not the
Right.
great finisher,
No,
but he's
I
been
know.
scoring 20 odd goals a season in all competitions the last 3
Yeah,
seasons.
because it gets it passed across into the 6-yard box and he just slots it in. That's
I'm not
only
saying Firmino's
time when
not
he
a great
scores.
player, but he is nowhere near the levels to be a striker.
No, he's
I
not.
understand what people say. You watch Firmino, he is very
He's
good.
not a striker.
He's
we
not a
don't
striker.
rely on
No,
him to
he's
score
not a
goals. He
striker.
went to
He
Jurgen
needs to
Klopp.
play in the hole.
He's like
We-
a
He went to Jurgen Klopp.
mini Dele Alli.
No, he don't.
The old Dele Alli.
Yeah.
The old Dele Alli.
he went to Jurgen Klopp and said, "Listen, I'm scared for my position. I haven't been scoring a lot of goals." And Jurgen Klopp said, "Haven't you? I don't rely on you for goals. I only noticed that you've not been scoring many goals.
No.
I don't rely on you for that. I've got Salah and Mane to score my goals.
Yeah.
You are there to come back, win me the ball, and give them the goal. That is his job. He's not a goal scorer. If he scores goals, great. But he's not a goal scorer. He's never been a goal scorer. He's a bloody wide player or a holding midfielder at Hoffenheim. Holding midfielder, attack midfielder at Hoffenheim. But he's come into this... Jurgen Klopp's come in and he's seen something in Firmino that his work rate and his strength off the ball and on the ball is impeccable. There's not a player like him elsewhere. Find me a player that does the Firmino role. Like
Okay,
Firmino.
so you're saying Firmino's world class, but would he suit into any other team?
No.
in the Prem? So he can't be world class, I don't think.
No.
Whereas
World
you
class
put
player.
Messi into any team,
But-
he does well.
But in this position, he doesn't fit any other team. In this position, you put him behind a striker, or you put him out on that left or out on that right, like kind of like a, not like an explosive winger like Raheem Sterling, but you play him like Bernardo Silva kind of way, the way he plays, the way he just kind of drifts and rotates it in around that kind of middle right. You play Firmino in that role in any team, he plays well. He
So
does
you're
it exceptional.
Liverpool in the summer. You signed 2 players. Realistically, who you signing?
I'm signing Timo Werner and William Cavallo.
And then who
Really?
who
I-
gets,
Who
who
drops?
does
Timo
Timo
I
Werner
thought you'd go
replace?
for a striker and an attacking midfielder.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's the one thing you do not have in that
Yeah.
whole of your side.
because if I was
Oh, yeah.
if
Kai
I was
Havertz.
Liverpool, then Timo Werner would replace Firmino.
Yeah.
There you go. So
But then he
he's not
doesn't
world
play the
class.
Firmino role. So how would that suit Liverpool?
So
Because
what?
Mane and Salah would then have to drop deeper, but they're not defensive in any way.
Especially
diff-
Salah.
But
Yeah.
no, the way that if we're signing Timo Werner summer, they've both.
well, he's openly
yeah,
wanted
he wants to join Liverpool.
Now he's
Yeah.
coming United.
Shut up.
Do you know what? United are
Definitely-
linked to everyone.
Yeah.
I'm just saying Tottenham have pulled out of signing Timo Werner.
But he-
we've started.
If we're lucky, we'll get Christian Benteke.
Yeah.
That's an upgrade. But
What, on Kane?
yeah,
Cool.
Flipping it.
Drinking too much, mate.
Yeah.
no, I'm joking. But listen, if we sign Timo Werner, that's to replace Divock Origi, because even Werner's come out and said I need to improve myself
Mm.
to play for Liverpool. So if he doesn't get in our team straight away, he's an upgrade on Divock Origi to come on. So Firmino keeps his role. And then, yeah, you're right. I was thinking William Cavallo, because we don't really have a holding midfielder beyond Fabinho. Henderson, yes, but then that removes the Henderson role, and Chamberlain doesn't really do it like Henderson on that right hand of midfield. So, yeah, if I'm signing 2 players, I'd probably bring in Kai Havertz or even Coutinho back. Like, we don't
It would
have...
be
On his
back,
current
though.
form, I don't know if I would.
No.
And it's not more. He hasn't got the work rate. When he was playing
Yeah.
Liverpool, it was more. He was the free man.
He
Yeah.
was the Salah.
Yeah,
in a
You
way.
give him
in
a
a way.
free
I
role.
get-
He doesn't
yeah,
have to come back.
Yeah, I
He
get that.
wouldn't
So
fit.
it
In
probably
your current
would be
team, he
more...
wouldn't fit.
If you look at the way Bayern Leverkusen play, they're always on the front foot, they're always on the press, and Kai Havertz kind of mimics the way that Jurgen Klopp wants to play and wants a midfielder, especially even a creative midfielder, to kind of work. Although we have Keita,
Don't
I
think
don't like.
Yeah.
I don't like him.
that
but
hasn't been in your
Keita
team
is-
for ages,
but
has he?
he's a
he's
squad
always
player
injured.
At best.
But Keita was meant to be that player that we brought in, and he was that creative flair. But whenever he plays, he drives forward, he looks great, he sees the pass, and he underhits it, or he overhits it, or it goes backwards. Like he's just the
You've also left out. So in this team you're building,
Mm.
you're dropping Junior Wijnaldum.
Yeah.
Considering how many goals he scored,
Yeah.
He hasn't scored.
not
season.
for Liverpool.
No.
the bigness of his goals. He scored 2
Oh,
against
yeah.
Barcelona.
Yeah, you
He
can say that
got
about
you
Federico
ahead against
Makeda.
Atletico Madrid.
I get that. I
So
do.
what, you play Fabinho, Henderson, and Havertz.
Yeah, I think that is the best midfield that we would have, because although I love Wijnaldum and I think he's a great player, he's 29, 30, he's getting on. He's not a young player anymore. He's experienced, but he's just not creative. He doesn't get that ball drive right. Where's the pass? Oh, little slide, little ball. Oh, little 1-2 with Firmino. Little play Salah. He doesn't. He gets that ball, drives, and then picks out Henderson sideways. And then Henderson plays to Trent, and then Trent puts the ball in. It's too sideways to the fullbacks to create. We can't have that. Or Firmino drops deep, and then we miss a central striker, and we don't have goals that way, so we don't really get many goals crossing into the box. And we've got our 2 wide players in the moment, like in Trent and Robertson. The only way they really assist is via corners or set pieces, or because they're so wide, whipping balls into the box. But we don't have an out-and-out number 9 to be in the box, so it's always long. It's always like over hitting to one of the wingers.
And they head it back in.
Yeah. So it's, although I love Firmino, either we don't get a creative midfielder and we buy Timo Werner, he plays up front, we change the way we play, and Firmino drops into the creative role, which would be a big ask, because he's playing attacking midfield, but he's not playing central midfield, being that creative kind of force. But I think he could play it well. He's got the work rate, he's got the strength. It's just whether he has his head on the swivel. It's just whether he's He's looking behind. Right, there's a player there. I need to quickly turn and play that ball. Whether he can. So
I think it'll take him a long time to adapt.
This is why people are saying we need to get a new right back and put Trent in midfield.
No chance.
Trent used to be a midfielder. There's a reason why Trent didn't make it as a midfielder. He doesn't have just doesn't have the awareness. He doesn't have his head on his head on the swivel. And he's even admitted it. He said, "Do you prefer playing wing? Because he used to be a winger as well." He said, "Do you prefer winger, centre mid, or right back?" He said, "Right back, because I don't have to worry about anyone behind me." So the whole game is in front of me.
He's still quite bad at defending,
He
considering.
He's not.
That's where you catch Liverpool.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, he's not a great defender, and this is why Henderson is so vital.
Yeah.
Because Robertson's a better defender than him. Robertson's not great defensively, but he is a lot better one-on-ones, and he's just a little nuisance. So if you beat him, he's just pushing you over anyways. So
That's why Arsenal have been doing quite well recently, because obviously Saka's been playing left back, not defender. But then Xhaka's been filling that role of left back.
exactly. So this is the whole new kind of perception of football is the creative fullbacks, but you've got to have a position in your team, and then you then sacrifice.
That's it.
And it's now the midfielders.
That's what Spurs are trying to do,
We have
but
none.
failing.
We have none.
Just
We have
laughing.
Warrior who doesn't actually know where he plays.
No.
He's
He's just somewhere.
Front.
Oh dear.
It's
So-
just the way that Liverpool have played this season has been worse than how we played last season. We were a lot better.
Yeah.
We destroyed teams last season, but this season was the first time that we've had grit when we've been playing poorly.
Yeah.
When we've been playing poorly, we've grinded out results, and we have.
Apart from Watford 3-0.
Listen, we've done double over you this season. But this season is the only season that we've had that grit and determination to grind out results and the know-how and defensive ability. Well, I say defensive ability, goalkeeper. But
What makes me laugh is we've sat here for 20 minutes just tearing Liverpool apart. The 20 points clear.
I know.
God knows what's going to happen if we start talking about Spurs and Man United.
And you've been listening to Liverpool FC podcast.
Anyway, we've got 5 minutes left. So the last question for you two, just to put together in 5 minutes.
All right.
Sticking to the conversation of Trent, can you build us England's best starting 11?
So,
5 minutes.
I have actually been thinking about
Go
this a
through
lot.
each one.
Okay.
You got 11 between you two, so you got
Between?
Are we discussing this?
Yeah,
Yes,
sure. Fine.
together.
Yes, go on.
Goalkeeper. Actually, stop. Formation.
Formation. 4-2-3-1, I think.
Is that with 2 attacking midfielders or 2 wingers?
2 attacking midfielders.
And you say England's best
4-3-3.
formation?
Yeah, 4-3-3. Yeah.
For England.
Okay.
You've got to have those wingers
Mm,
with the squad we have.
yeah.
I think
True.
in goal's got to be Dean Henderson.
Yeah.
Has to be.
Has to be.
Pickford's run a form. Awful.
No.
Making
I would
so
like
many
to throw Nick
mistakes.
Pope in there, but
Yeah. No. Nick Pope will be on the bench.
I agree with Dean Henderson. I
Yeah.
rate him. I think Nick Pope's a good shot stopper, but I think Dean Henderson's also an equally good shot stopper, but he's better with his feet.
Yeah, that's
And-
why I'm not a big fan of Pope. So obviously
Yeah.
I'm a goalkeeper myself. I compare myself more to a ball playing.
Yeah.
than a
Henderson
shot
has
stopper.
saved Sheffield United on more occasions than most, and I think he'll do exactly the same for England. So yeah, I completely agree with Henderson.
Beautiful.
Definitely.
Right back. After this conversation we've just had,
Yeah, but I mean, who else do we have, to be honest?
Wan-Bissaka. See, this was I've been thinking about formations because I think play 3 at the back. Wan-Bissaka would be that right centre back. Not great going forward. Unreal
To be honest,
defender.
whenever England have
Unreal.
played 3 at the back and have got the protection of the midfield coming back in, I do feel that they have played better than when they
Yeah.
played a 4-3-3. To be honest,
But
we have
then-
3 shouts for right back. It's just who you choose.
Trippier's been doing alright.
You have 4 shots.
4.
right back.
Or Cole Walker.
You have 5 with
Walker.
Bruce
Cole
James.
Walker, no.
No, I'm not a fan.
Nah, he's not. I don't feel he's the correct defender, to be honest. Since
Do
his-
you take Carl Walker in your squad?
No.
So
Nice.
He played very well centre back though.
It
did.
depends what formation we play.
To be honest, yeah. So if he does play at that centre back role, then probably yeah.
But
But it
then-
depends then.
I think if we are talking about playing a right back at centre back, Wan-Bissaka,
Yeah.
even though he's never played there before, if Southgate trains him enough, he'd be a lot better than Walker.
If you play 5 at the back, who do you play right back?
Right wing back would be Trent.
in your formation anyway. So
So
you've
four-
discussed
four-
who are
4-3-3.
who
Yeah.
you taking at right back.
Trent, I'd take Trent. For the simple fact
Yeah.
we are going to do better than a lot of the teams. Maybe further on in the tournament.
I would have Trippier though on the bench.
Would you?
Yeah.
I'd have Wan-Bissaka.
Yeah, I've been following him a little bit with Atletico Madrid.
Right.
He's improved so much, basically.
Yeah, I've
so,
heard that, but I only had that.
Right, so
against
starting
City.
11, you're having Trent.
Trent.
Yeah,
Right.
Trent.
2 centre backs.
I think even though he's got a lot better this season, not from last season.
We
but
don't
he's
have centre
improved.
backs in all honesty. Like we
Maguire,
really don't.
I think
Maguire's all right. You
he's
know,
not great. But
he's the best we've got, I think.
He's, as the
But-
season's gone on, he's improved so much.
So you go Maguire.
Yeah.
Maguire and who's his partner?
Just because of pace, I think maybe
Gomez. Yeah.
Gomez.
But
Yeah.
I don't know who else would suit that role.
I think
Mm.
honestly, Gomez is probably the best defender.
He makes
that England
mistakes,
has
but
got.
he recovers. from
His
them.
recovery is very good.
Yeah,
Although I was saying his one-on-ones aren't great, but if he gets beat, he's getting back.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
And we need pace at the back anyway. So.
if someone else the amount of times he's saying Van Dijk this season is ridiculous. His determination and grit is great.
Yeah.
So he's probably England's best all-round centre back.
I'm just going to say now, we're not taking John Stones.
No, he's just literally
Cannot
just gone.
stand him,
He's
honestly.
absolutely gone. You know,
Who are you doing left back?
So finish off your back four.
Leighton Baines. No.
About 10
You'd
years
have a
now.
shout for Brandon Williams, I think, but
No,
I think left back can
I
only
don't
be one
like
player, really.
right-footed left backs.
I
No.
think left back can
I
only be
think that's a
one person.
liability, to be
Yeah.
honest. You need a left back.
I think
Right.
left back talks for itself. It's only one person.
Chilwell.
Chilwell.
There's
Chilwell.
not really anyone contending
Everyone's
with
calling for Saka, but he needs to prove himself
Not
more.
yet.
Yeah.
Same as Williams, not yet.
He's a winger.
No,
I
but
think
yeah.
maybe a squad player because he's so versatile.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
good
your
shout.
DM out of your 2 centre midfielders, the DM. This
See,
is probably one of your hardest positions.
Yeah.
I think Henderson, if Southgate
honest,
gets the system right.
Yeah, he needs to get the system right because the way he works under Liverpool, he works well. You can just see the work rate in and out. He's an average. Like
He
he's
plays
work
on that
hard.
right of. I think if you're playing Trent, you have to play him on the right of
Or to
midfield
cover
to
for
cover
Trent.
for Trent.
Yeah, so maybe Declan Rice.
That's Rice was the other shout.
Even though I'm not the biggest fan, but then we don't really
He's
have
probably
anyone
our
else.
best
Yeah.
out and out holding midfielder.
Yeah. He's the most consistent. You know, on good form. I mean,
The only person who could probably compare him to
Eric
is
Dyer.
Dyer.
Yeah.
But
He's awful.
as of the last few games, you wouldn't put it past him taking the squad, but
No, I
he's
would.
the last 2 years. He needs
that's
to get
why
back
I'm saying
to-
on form, Dyer would contend with Rice, but
As of now,
currently
but-
it's Rice.
He needs to get back to 2 years
Dyer's a
ago.
Yeah,
liability.
he does.
He is, yeah.
Big
like-
He is
liability.
massive
I agree.
liability.
Jack Rodwell.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go on that. Right. So you two
Just
centre
nah.
mids.
Lee Cattermore's playing really, really well in Holland, by the way.
2 centre mids.
So obviously Henderson on the right to cover
Yeah.
Trent. 'Cause
This is the hardest one, is the last one. So who do you take? You have Grealish, you have Maddison, you have Ali.
Ali's not even part of this
No,
conversation.
I mean Ali currently he's doing okay and doing better. He'll probably be in the squad in general,
not, I
but
really hope
not
not.
starting. But on form, that is as well. So, but it's either Madison or
Personally,
Grealish.
I think Maddison is really
I'd go
overrated.
Maddison.
Yeah,
I
I'd go
don't
Maddison.
think Maddison's
I think
as good as
he's-
everyone says.
no.
I think Grealish is 10 times
I
the
think
player
if
Maddison
you're
is.
playing a three in midfield,
I think
I
who
think
deserves it
Grealish
more is Grealish.
is more
Grealish
hard
is-
working,
Grealish
more
deserves it
he's
more.
stronger in midfield.
What
Look
he's
at
done for
Maddison.
Aston Villa is brilliant.
Maddison
so,
hasn't had a goal or assist
No.
in like 10 games, and he's playing in a side that has Vardy up front.
yeah,
He-
And a side that's
Vardy has not been playing
overachieving
for
Yeah.
by
10
all.
games.
But have you noticed how Vardy hasn't been playing and Maddison hasn't created a chance?
Exactly.
No.
But Maddison doesn't pull through and dig deep when
No.
they need him. When Leicester play well, Maddison plays well.
yeah.
When Leicester
Yeah.
play bad,
Yeah.
Maddison
Okay.
disappears as
Yeah,
well.
when-
don't
But
need
you
to
look
see
at Villa. Villa have been playing bad anyway.
Yeah.
Grealish just
Shine.
He stood out a lot.
So
lot.
yeah, Grealish for the out and out like creative midfielder there. To be
Yeah,
honest.
he also plays like as a left centre mid for Aston Villa, almost,
Yeah.
which would suit what we're doing for England.
right.
One choice.
Both
So-
wingers, there's Sancho and Sterling.
It's a
Yeah.
2 out of
Yeah.
3 though. In whether you
No,
classify Rashford.
there
but
is
Mason Greenwood.
yeah.
No.
he has
No,
a
he'll
good
be on the
chance.
bench. Honestly, he'll be like an impact. sub,
I
think,
honestly
for
think we should
Greenwood.
take him.
I do think Greenwood.
I
'cause
say
But
take him, but
Obviously take him, but starting 11. So
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
saying
So
Sterling,
Sterling and
Sancho,
Sancho.
and
with
then
Kane up
surely
top.
Yeah.
has to be Kane.
Yeah.
Danny Ings.
Oh dear. No, he's not even in the squad.
Danny Ings, 100%. 15 goals in the Premier League and you don't take him. Are
No.
you honestly saying
No.
you don't take Danny Ings?
But there's other
with
Kane-
Rashford injured.
Well,
To be fair,
you
yeah.
could say the same
I'm
for
thinking
Kane.
about it
Kane's
with
injured.
Rashford not injured.
back
but
then.
if Rashford
Yeah,
is,
so it's
if-
Rashford.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I'd like to say that you're saying Danny Ings. Kane's on 11 goals and he's missed 16 games.
Yeah.
That geezer just has to go always.
Rashford's on.
Just scores
Yeah,
so
I'm not
many
on about
goals.
15.
I think Danny Ings did a Tammy Abraham because Tammy Abraham's
Don't
very
like-
similar
don't like
to Rashford. Very
Another one
direct,
you missed
quick.
out is Mason Mount.
If Rashford is injured, then you would say Tammy.
Not for a starting 11. No,
no,
for a
I
starting
don't
11.
even think.
Who's on the right, Sancho or Sterling?
I'd go
So
Sancho.
Sancho is
I'd go
on the
Sancho.
right,
Yeah.
and
Sterling
then
on the
Sterling on
left.
the left.
Kane through the middle.
'Cause
Yeah.
neither of them like to cut and shoot, so it's more about being the defender.
Don't think we can disagree with that too. Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
so. It's a strong
No,
team. I reckon.
that is probably pretty similar to what I'd pick.
Would
Yeah.
you take any wild cards like in the squad?
Danny Ings.
I think Greenwood is the wild card. To be
Greenwood,
honest. I think that's
Okay.
the wild
Or
card.
But-
Saka, one of them, but not both.
If you're right, so
Tanganga,
who are the strikers that you take?
Tanganga,
The
defender.
Tanganga's played 3 games.
More than that, actually.
Yeah, it's
It's a lot more than that.
and I
Hey.
think I would take him for experience because he will be in England squad in the future.
I'm not sure.
Nah, I'm not sure about
I
Tanganga.
don't even know where he plays. He's playing right wing back, left wing back, and centre back. Where
Send back.
He's a
probably
centre back.
probably be
yeah.
a 10 next season
He's a centre
under Mourinho.
yeah.
yeah. Don't know what Mourinho's going to do next season.
But right, you're saying Mason Greenwood.
Yeah.
Who'd you take his strikers?
You only take 3, didn't you?
Yeah.
So you take Kane and Rashford.
Rashford. Yeah,
then you got one
Rashford
left.
and Greenwood can both play on the wing. So
And
they're
then-
strikers and wingers.
I know you don't want him, but he will go as Tammy Abraham.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
Southgate
just one spot
loves
left.
him.
It's
Danny
one
Ings.
spot.
He deserves
Probably
it.
is-
He
the
deserves
Danny
it.
stuff-
The only
he does
player
deserve
that
it.
could have gone ahead of him was Callum Wilson, but he
Not
hasn't
at
turned
the
up this season.
It's
Right.
the same
Poor.
with Ings though.
He is
His
poor.
form hasn't been amazing.
No.
Ings scored like 10 in 12 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Something stupid like that. But since then, it's
I
not
mean,
been-
to be honest,
been drying
Ings
up a
is
bit.
in my current fantasy football, you know, so it says it all. But yeah, he does deserve it. Danny Ings does deserve it.
He's been probably he's the saviour of Southampton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Without his goal, because they were showing it like without Danny Ings' goals
No, Ward-Prowse.
Definitely not. He had his chance a long time ago.
as a
Yeah.
spare right back.
Yeah.
He's been playing right back for him.
Has he?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's why he hasn't been scoring.
But
His set pieces were unreal. Like,
yeah, oh yeah,
Yeah.
he's
Pinpoint.
the whippage of the ball
The goal he
is
scored
very
against
good.
us was ridiculous.
But they were showing on Sky Sports the like the saviours basically. So Sadio Mane's won us 13 points. Danny Ings has won Southampton something ridiculous, but the biggest one was Arsenal without Aubameyang's goals.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He's won them so many points. They've been in relegation zone. They'd be 18th without Aubameyang.
Ridiculous.
I'm not shocked. He scored like
That's why he wants
55% of
payment.
goals or something.
And
Right,
he's
don't he?
league
Yeah,
as well.
yeah, he wants to go to like Barcelona.
He wouldn't suit
So,
them. Wouldn't suit them.
Yeah. Thanks guys for that.
It's
Yeah.
alright, no problem.
yeah, I've been Aaron.
And I've been Tommy. And these are our guests of.
Josh?
And George.
Anyway, we'll be back next week, but check out our Twitter and our YouTube at WeAreFootball.
Thank you.
I think it's like an hour and 10 minutes.